I am going to try and show you a bit of spinning. This is a Turkish spindle, and what I'm doing right now is I'm actually plying two threads together that I have already spun. So maybe you can see here's two threads and one holds them together, and you spin in a clockwise direction and you ply two strands together in an anti-clockwise direction so that they naturally wrap around each other and form a stronger thread. You can see that there's two colors here. Have a look at that. That is what I have already plied, and the fibers I'm using is a complete lovely mixture. What I have here is merino wool, mohair, yak fiber, and mulberry silk. So these are blends. They're not all in the same yarn, in the same fiber. They are a mixture. Just trying to see. The only fibers I can show you right now is actually this incredible big bundle here of dyed mulberry silk cocoons. This is actually the cocoons that I dyed this morning, and they are so fluffy and light. I have been spinning them on a different spindle, which is quite lovely. Look at that beautiful green color. I dyed that, and this is just what's called a singles. So it's one thread, which I will first spin, and then I will come along with the second thread of probably a different color, and I will apply them, which is what I'm doing right now. So you can do a 2-ply, a 3-ply, a 4-ply, as many plies as you like, but this all takes time. So I've been, this mulberry silk fiber just blows around like no tomorrow. It's like cotton candy. As you can see here now, I'm winding what I've plied onto, look how beautiful the pattern is that it forms, onto the Turkish spindle. And when you end up with a lovely big cushion of threads here, that's called a turtle. So it's quite tricky, because when you unwind a ball of single ply, it just wants to curl up on each other. So that is why you wind it in the opposite direction. So the two threads are wound individually in a right hand turn, and that makes them twist up. And then when you put them together, you wind them on a left hand turn, and then they end up being completely sort of limp, or balanced actually, so that there's no twist. Because if you have a twist in your thread or your yarn when you're knitting or crocheting with it, it will make your stitches tend to slant to one side, and it will be very, very difficult for you to get attention. Now, can you see here, this is like a little squiggle. That's the single, and that's because it's very well twisted. Then you have to hold them up with quite a tension and spin it around. So once I've done this spin, I'm going to move the camera down to the ground so that you can actually see the spindle turning around. So there you are, down on the ground, and hope you can get a little view of the Turkish spindle spinning around in an anti-clockwise direction and plying these two threads together. So you don't want to spin them too much, otherwise they just get a tension in the opposite direction. You want them to be very, very loose and limp and not have any kinks in them once you have plied them. Then once you've spun a length, which is as long as your arm can hold it up off the ground basically, I think mine's just over 1 meter, then you have to wind it on to the cob. So you can see the beautiful design that's coming up there. That's part of what actually drew me to the Turkish spindle, was this gorgeous design that it created while you were spinning it, and it just looked so lovely, and it made me want to spin. So I'm a Turkish spindle spinner. I learned about 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and there was a time when I would spin every single day, but I have not been doing that for a while now. For whatever reason, I've had a lot of other things on the go, but it really stood me in good stead, because it's not really the easiest thing to do, spinning with a Turkish spindle, but once you get it, it's like riding a bicycle. You'll never forget how to do it. So I just want to show you, these are the 2 balls of singles that I'm spinning. This one has got, this is a merino silk inside, the white, and the pink is also a merino silk. And then the grey, which is this one, this is merino and yak. The grey is the yak fibre, which is very, very strong fibre. So I'm getting a beautiful blend, and I took a look this morning at all the yarns that I've spun. So you have to be quite vigilant, because if you get this kind of a twist, you have to get it out before you can spin it. So you've got to have your eyes on everything that you're doing, just to make sure that you are not getting knotted up. So it takes a bit of practice, but it's lovely. And I'm now at the point where I have quite a lot of hand spun yarn. From my years of spinning, I have made 1 or 2 items, but I'm working up to, not quite sure what. I'm in the mood for some hand spun knitting, and I'm just loving the colors that are coming together here. Look at these. Can you see this? Wonder. Yeah, these greys and dark charcoals and sort of pinks and cream, which is forming a very, very beautiful yarn. And pretty soon I'll get to the end of this. I can probably end up with about 50 grams on this Turkish spindle, which is quite good. Anyway, I think that is all I can really show you. It might be a bit boring, but this is what I'm doing today.